I'm Amanda.
And we just got to the San Diego Science Fair and there's like a lot of projects.
There's not very many people though.
So yeah, we're just doing reporting on certain projects that we find interesting and talking about them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, okay, bye. That's Amanda. We're at the Science and Engineering Fair. And this is the first project we're looking at because it's kind of interesting. It's about if people would rather read good news or bad news. And even though the hypothesis was that most people would want to read bad news over good, it actually ended up being the opposite, and more people wanted to read good news over bad. Okay, so do you have anything to say? I actually kind of thought this was funny because, like, personally, the bad news looks more interesting than the good news on this. And the purpose of this project was that we become we become more negative, like, because of the world we live in, like, we don't have as much of a positive attitude anymore just because we're so interested in bad news, I guess.
So, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this project is on if social networking makes you
Antisocial.
yes, antisocial. And their hypothesis was that 80% of communication is online, and compared to students who use social networking, students who do not use social networking will spend 70% more time face-to-face communication. And
So they went through like a bunch of testing. They found out like how much sleep people that do social networking, people that don't do, and it was proven that like people that do social networking get less sleep in the week, but more sleep on the weekends than people that don't.
so it's better not to social network.
Instagram. So this one is how can wearing high heels affect mental health? And okay, as you can see, there's like different pictures here of like different celebrities that wear heels. And this one, like, she has crippled toes, which is interesting. And then over here, Kim Kardashian, her feet are all swollen. It's just showing different things like this. And then they have different examples of shoes. They have these flats and like, okay. And they have a 2-inch heel. And then Amanda, show that one.
These are the absolute worst type to wear because immediate damage to toes, nerves, feet, legs, and body occurs.
And it puts extreme pressure
on your toe,
on your body weight forwarding. Yeah, and then it says the reason that like heels are so bad is because it literally forces you to put all your weight on your front foot,
and it strains your calves really bad.
Okay, so then there's like these different things. So first there's this one, and it's really gross, but okay. So this is like what happens when you wear heels like all the time. And okay, so this one is a lady. She's a restaurant hostess and she wears these every day, and her feet are not looking so good.
Yeah.
8 hours on the that's 8 hour after 8 hours of wearing them. And then like all of them are literally like that. Like it literally deforms their feet. And so okay, yeah, there's that. And so the conclusion is that if you consistently wear high heels for a certain amount of time, that your feet and body begin to like be damaged and stuff. So yeah,
Don't wear high heels.
don't wear high heels.
So this is the weirdest science project there is here, and it's the wonder of urine and efficient fertilizer. So the hypothesis was, can human urine have components that are essential for tomato plants to grow? And they actually came to the conclusion.
They first put the urine on the plants, and then on some they didn't. And if you look here, zoom in. At the end of the project, this is the one with the urine, and this is the one without it. And well, as you can see, urine can actually be used as a good fertilizer. but I'm gonna assume that we're not gonna try that.
Yeah. Don't try this on mine.
This is which nail polish brand is the least resistant to chipping, and since we're girls, we found this one really interesting. So the hypothesis was that the OPI nail polish would be the strongest, and the ones they used were L'Oreal, Sally Hansen, and the OPI one. So after they did a lot of testing, the conclusion was that after 240 trials, 20 of each brand in 4 separate trials, the strongest nail polish brand found out that the three popular brands that
Pretty much the conclusion was that OPI and Sally Hansen each had a higher resiliency in one of the 4 trials.
yeah, so that was pretty much even.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing this one. It's lotion potion, and they tested.
Lotion.
Yeah, and we're telling which ones.
St. Ives, Victoria's Secret, Kissable, Jergens, Bath and Body Works, and St. Ives. And they thought that St. Ives would be the best.
Alright, so after they did all the testing, that they realized that there wasn't really a best lotion, but St. Ives, Kissable, and Jergens were all like pretty much around the same closeness.
So,
Yeah. So I don't really know what they're like testing about it because
pH levels. They tested
pH levels
and percent of solids in each.
Yeah.
And the cost.
Yeah.
And Victoria's Secret was definitely the most expensive.
Mhm. Okay. So yeah.
So, at what age does bullying affect teenagers the most? And their hypothesis was that it affects younger teenagers more than older ones, and
And as
they
the older they got, the less bullying really affected their lives. So yeah.
So 13-year-olds were affected the most.
And 18-year-olds were affected the least.
And they
So-
thought more about what others thought of them. Like, they cared more about what others thought of them than most of the other people.
And it says that the results decrease the most at the age of 15. Like, so yeah,
So they started to care less.
at 15. Okay, so what they did for the test was they
Gave all these students the
different
same.
questionnaires at different
Yeah.
ages, and like they would say, check all the circumstances you've been through. What are some of the reasons why you might not report seeing bullying? If you had been getting bullied and it wasn't getting better, would you tell your parents? Do you care what others think of you? Do you consider bullying as a current problem in your life? So yeah, they gave that to everyone, and then they kind of just looked at like which one checked off the most and stuff like that, and they got their conclusion. So yeah.
That's the end of the science fair.